I will show the enterprise standards and some rules and something you must pay attention to. You can follow me. Let's start. Okay.
We are ready.
In the morning, we have created the project named Personnel Management System. Okay, and we have configured the Maven. Okay. Then we will to developer and programming the something as a test to use some rule of enterprise standards. Okay. Usually we work on the programming in SRC under the SRC folder, and SRC under the SRC we have the main directory. Under the main directory we have Java directory. We called SRC point main point Java is the class path of the project. Understand?
Yes, Laushi.
So it's the class path and the package we create when we create the project it's just in a group and the application class is the main enter of the project. Understand? Let's create some folder under the group. Okay. Click the package. You just right click the package and new package and name the controller. And just click enter is okay. And then new package, new package named bin or entity is okay. I named it entity. We know under the folder we will put some file about our table class. It's mapping to the database table, and one class mapping one table, a database table. Understand? Everyone?
Yes, Laushi. Laushi, you created package or folder? Firstly.
Okay. And then we need we usually to put some interface under the mapper under the mapper directory. Okay. We usually name it, and we need a package to do our business. So we can use the name service. It can divide it can this project can be developed into this part: controller, service, mapper, and entity. It's the following. I will paint to show with you. In the layer of controller, controller. We will use the layer of service. It's a relationship of be used, and it means the service layer be used by controller, and that. And then the service layer will use the mapper. The mapper, and the mapper use and operate database and use the entity, and that this is following is a flow. Diagram, and the controller layer be used by Spring MVC's web dispatcher control. It's used in a Spring MVC framework. There's a controller. A central controller named dispatcher Solite. Solite controller. As that.
Yes, sir.
And it use and call the controller. This the full flow chart, and and the entity provide some data to the mapper, and the mapper provide some method and return the data to service, and the service do some business of user requirement, requirement. Answer.
Yes, Laoshi.
So we need some classes. This some class in the controller layer. We usually new Java class to do handler.
Yes.
Yeah. And the the service layer is always used in order to complete user requirement. User requirement to do the user to complete user requirement, and the mapper layer is used to visit database operator. Answer.
Yes, Laoshi. We add database queries also.
We know database operator we always insert and delete
Queries, SQL queries.
delete and update and select something. It's usually the circle language. Understand?
Yes, Laoshi.
Yes.
So we usually define some method to finish this this operation. Understand?
Yes, Laoshi.
And the last one is entity. Entity layer we usually in the class to put some in the class they always put some entities attribute and some getters method and some setters method. Answer.
Yes, this is Java
Yes.
beans, right?
Yeah, just Java bean. Yeah.
Java.
The class.
Java class.
Okay. This is the structure of director. So
Laoshi, please send this picture also flowchart.
give you some class. First, we usually set up and to create the Java bean in entity. So you can right click new and the class. I just use a user class. I named the class name. And I suggest the class name is capital uppercase, capitalize the words. Understand?
Okay, Laoshi.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll create we'll have create attributes. User usually have username and password and ID. ID I usually named int or string is okay. So we can do like this. Username, we can use the type of string, and the password also string is okay. Okay, it's the attribute. Then we can add something getter and setters. Just in the empty place, in the any empty place, and right click generate. Then you can choose getter, or I will choose all the all field attribute. Okay. Repeat. I will. You can click Control and choose all field you want. It's okay. And then the setters. The same way. And you also you maybe also add some constructor and toString. I will add a toString method. Okay. It's in order to test our programming. Okay.
Okay. This is also
The other field you need. I just to test the three attributes. Okay. Okay. Is the mapper layer. Under the folder, we usually new class new some class class some interface and then some interface. It's implements a class usually use Java ProXY Java usually be implemented by proxy of the Spring Spring framework. Understand? So you choose the interface and the name you can usually name the user mapper. We usually use named by the entity name and end mapper. Okay. And the interface is used begin with upper case letter. And in the interface, we usually add some method public to insert, select, or delete and some other method. Understand? Someone like we can user we have a business or login. Login is just get a user. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Are you agreeing?
Yes, sir.
So the return is a user object, okay, and you can name the get user by name and password. I named the method. And the argument is username or password. Okay.
Okay.
And you need to import the entity from our package. Okay. It's used to 登录login. Okay. And we need to some select all user by some key. You can program a method and the method return value is some user, so you can use a list and user. Okay?
Okay, 老师，你可以打一遍你的单词。
Okay, by key. And so you need a string or a key as the argument. Okay? And the list needs to import. It's the under the package of Java VUE. Okay. We usually use something method to update a user information or message. Okay, so we need update user information, and we need a method update. If you update success, we can return some string or some data of string or some or boolean or some number. In here, I always return the data of int because if you execute circle and the result always a number. So in the mapper, I usually use int. Are you agreeing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I named update user by user update user and update user. You always use one field, two field or several field. So the argument will always use user entity. Okay.
User object, right?
Okay, it's reasonable, and you can delete a user,还是 on the delete a user. We usually delete returned int. Still user. You can name the you can name the you want. I just name the user. If you execute circle, just like delete from some table, it will delete all the record. So when you delete user, it's dangerous. You always deal user by ID. Okay. Because our ID is a type of int, so the argument type is int. Okay. And if you have other service, you can make more method. Okay. Okay, this is a mapper. Then we will use our service and the folder. We usually need first need a package. The package in the package we will have some class be implemented. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So I create the directory means IMPL is the implement for short. Okay. Okay. And under the folder you can use user service. User service. It's named. It's named very standard. And then we need a notation of service before the class. Okay. The class should be direct, decorate by the notion, and the class I have said it implied some interface. So we need interface first. Interface. interface is also like this. We usually named it it short for the interface, the first letter, user service. You need to create first the interface, then the implementation class. Okay, I just do it in return. Else says why we need interface, because the interface usually usually programmed by a designer, and the implement class just by a junior programmer. Okay.
Okay.
So it's it's the structure we need. We need this. And the interface. The interface we need to move the service. The service the service package, okay, and it's like this. It's like this, okay, and it means all interface under the service and the implement under the MPL. Okay. You also can rename the class is IMPL. You can divide them to design as a designer. You must to consider about user requirement, because we have log in, and get some select some user or delete some user or update some user. So I will copy the mapper method here. In here you can name by other name, but I named the same name. Okay. In the implement, I will implement the user service, and you need to implement all methods. Okay. Pay attention to the annotation. Then we need to programming the controller layer. Okay. And here we can just use the name user controller. And the class director by the annotation of controller. Yeah, controller. Decorate by controller. Okay. And here we can define some method, like I have something login, return something. Something. I just do a test, so I named okay. I think I gave a string of no of empty, and here we need here we need to configure the visit path, and we use request mapping. Yeah, request mapping and your mapping URL. Okay. And in the controller, we usually use service. So we need a private field service, and in the class all methods can use the service. It's a key place. Understand, everyone? It's important. You can make a private, because public method can can be visited by any other class, but in the class we just use user service by the method in inner the class. So we define the defined private. Okay, and the type is user service, and the type we usually use the user service interface. It's just and I give the name. You can usually design the variable begin with lowercase. Okay, and here in the method we will use the user the get we have a get a method get this one. Okay, and it means we need some string, username, and string password, and it will as the argument of the method, and the method will return a user. So you can use a user variable to variable
Okay. Is the
to
object of
equal,
user class.
okay? And then you can judge if the user is not isn't none. It means they have the user, and the user is registered in the system. Okay. If this, you can return something. You can return something. 成功。success. And or forward some other page. Okay. And that you can just return a failure. Login failure. Okay. But we need a notation to tell the framework to parsing the user service. We usually use auto-where.
Yes.
Auto-where. Okay. So it's the code. I will go into the user service MPL. I see. I have said the service layer use mapper layer. Okay. So the same way we need a private or mapper, because my mapper layer user mapper is an interface, so you direct use the type is okay. You can name the user mapper. Okay. And it also implied by a policy, so you should have a notation of auto-where always director decorate some interface understand?
Yes, Laoshi.
This one we can
But we haven't used it, right?
There's no bin on mapper type of font. There's not haven't scan any anything. So they have a error. Don't worry. We will to finish after where. Okay. You just do like this is okay. So just now I can't finish it. You can in here you can to visit the method and give the real argument of username and password. Okay, and the method will return a user object, so you can do as the return expression. Okay, then the method is finished. Okay, and then and then we usually use some usually use something to tell Spring framework implies the user mapper. It's a XML file. Understand?
Yes, Laushi.
The XML file is related to the mapper interface. Understand?
Yes, Laushi.
And
the
XML and the XML we usually put under the resources because in the Java after the src main Java we usually put something class or interface. If you put XML or properties or other file, other type of file, the project can't works well. Okay, can't work well. So the XML you need to put under the resources Okay. And we can see that under the resources there are a folder named static. Static will usually put some images, pictures, or style sheet or JavaScript file. Understand? And in the templates, we usually to put some HTML page. Okay. And there is the properties of applications. We know we should to get something or add something to database. So we should configure databases connection information. Okay. And the database connection information usually configured in the file named application properties. And just now we see the XML related to the user mapper. We usually new a directory. You can name the mappings. Name the mappings, and after it, you can new the XML file. You can means the same name with the mapper. This one you can delete. This information you can delete. It's okay. Oh, okay. The no. It's end with F as well. We just end with X and well is okay. So we can find
Others?
and I renew. I
File.
use Camel. This one. Okay.
No.
Okay, you can try.
I can try it with the same name. Use user mapper. It's okay. Yes. Okay. So here it's something about my basis. Understand?
Yes.
And here when you create the mail, you can see that will this one has no font, and we can do something other. And we need to configure here. We need to first to configure some date source. This is a URL date source. I visit my circle driver. This is my IP address or port, and this is the database name. You can use your database. I use test is okay. And here is my username and password of my database. Okay. And the second is something about theme leaf. This code is fixed. So you just copy this information here is okay.
Loudest send in WeChat.
To create a file named application YML. So if you want to use the dependencies of theme leaf, you need to new a file end with thf, understand? And the file name must be application. Then it can work well. Okay. End with YML. It's this dependency ML. And here there's something code you can't to consult about. You have to search about. There's structure like this: Spring profiles active DV and MVC. This MVC, this one is to tell the project, the static file is here. So you need to configure like this. Okay. I will give you the file. Don't worry. And then you need to build another file. It names like this. It names like this. Okay. I just lost yeah. I will delete and renew. Because when we need that file, because you want to use Synleaf, and this one here is the DV. So you need a file. In total, if you want use the dependencies of Synleaf, you must add two files in under the resources. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
And here you usually need to add some information. The first is server. The first is the server port. You must when you run the default port we know is 1880. Okay. You can use other port number. Okay. And then the MyBatis location. We use the MyBatis location here in resources under mappings. So the location is like this. Class path we know Java package and resources package are both the class path. Okay. So if you write down class path, this one can be scanned. Okay. This means the analysis package. The analysis package is always to make analysis use the entity, because the entity is in a deep development, after a deep directory. Understand? So when we have analysis for the entity, we will do something easily. Okay. And so it's the entities com 点 edu 点point this one and the entity I change it, okay? And the other is login. It's easy to it's used by debug, okay, to test our project and show some information about login, okay. And so there's some standard enterprise standard development programming and some configuration standard. Understand?